Okay, hello kids. This is a video where I'm going to check all the exercises that you work with. I'm gonna check them and I will give the answers and the explanations to the correct answers. Okay, so based on the reading part, the first exercise in the reading part, the reading about the presidents, the ex-presidents of the United States, Abraham Lincoln and JFK. We have one first question that says, on which day of the week were both presidents killed? Remember that in the document say that you had to give the long answer, no short answer. That means that it has to be a complete sentence with a subject, with a verb, and a complement. Or in the case of a passive voice with an object, the verb to be, the action, etc., etc. Okay? So the answer for the first exercise, on which day of the week were both presidents killed? The answer is both presidents were killed on a Friday. That will be the correct answer, okay? Because they're asking for what day, so the complete sentence, the complete answer will be both presidents were killed on a Friday. Let's go with the second question. Let's see. Question 2. Who killed Kennedy? That is the question. Who can tell me who killed Kennedy? Who remembers? Okay, let's see. Who killed Kennedy? Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy. That's the complete answer, the whole answer. Let's go with number 3. What was the name of the presidents, plural, that succeeded both Kennedy and Lincoln? Let's hear the answer. Okay. It says, the name of the president that succeeded Kennedy and Lincoln were Andrew Johnson and Lyndon Johnson. Okay, that will be the correct and complete answer. That's it. Let's go with number 4. Where was Lincoln a week before his death? Where was he 1 week before his death? That means before he was killed. Let's see. Let's see the answer. Answer 4. It says Lincoln was in Monroe, Maryland a week before. A week before his death. Okay, that's the correct answer. Let's go with question number 5. Okay, there is question number 5. Who was born in 1908? There we have the answer. Lyndon Johnson was born in 1908. All right, let's go with question number 6. Question number 6. Nope. Question number 6 says, when was Kennedy elected? When was Kennedy elected? Let's see, when was Kennedy elected? Kennedy was elected as a president in 1960. That is the complete answer, as it says in the document. The document asks for the complete answer. Let's go with number 7. Number 7 says, where was Lincoln shot? Where was Lincoln shot? The answer is Lincoln was shot at a theater named for or called for. All right? That was it. That's number 7. Let's go with number 8. Question says it's about the two of them, both Lincoln and Kennedy. What issue, what situation were both presidents involved with? So the answer for this is, that's it. Both were involved in civil rights. Okay, that will be the answer for the answer for the first exercises, okay? That will be for the first exercise, exercise number 1, which was only a reading comprehension activity. You answered the questions, okay? Let's go with exercise number 2. Let's see. Exercise number 2 was about changing the sentences from active voice, the way we have it here, into passive voice, as we learned with the structures and the video I sent you. All right? So, okay. Exercise number 2. It's about changing these sentences, which are in active voice, into passive voice according to what we learned in the video and in the structure that you review on internet. So let's start with this one. The first thing that we need to do is to identify if there is a subject, if there is a verb, and if there is an object. So we can find here that there's a subject, which is what? Voters. Voters. Verb, elected, and object, Kennedy. So that means that we can change that sentence into passive voice, and the answer will be what? Since we have, for the passive voice, if you remember the structure is object, verb to be, in past, because here we got the verb in past, and the main verb in past participle, which is also elect, but the verb in past participle is elected because it's regular, so it wouldn't change that much. Let's see what the result is. Let's see. Voters elected Kennedy to the Congress, so the answer will be Kennedy as an object, to be was in past, elected by voters in 1946. All right. Okay, let's go with the next one. It says again, voters elected Kennedy as a president in 1960. The same structure that we had in the previous exercise, where we have voters as the subject, elected as the verb, and Kennedy as the object, okay? So basically it will be kind of the same sentence. Let's see the answer. Kennedy was elected as a president by voters in 1960, all right? Let's go with number 3. We got someone shot Kennedy on a Friday. That means that we have subject, someone, verb in past again, shot, because all the sentences are in past, shot, object again, Kennedy. Okay? Let's see what the result is. How's the answer? Object again, Kennedy, to be, was, main verb in past participle, shot is the same. Kennedy was shot by someone on a Friday. That is the answer. All right? Let's go with the next one. It says, the gunman shot Kennedy in the head. So we got subject, the gunman. Again, the verb shot, and again, the object is Kennedy. All right? So that means that Kennedy will be the beginning of the sentence in passive voice. Let's check. Kennedy was shot by a gunman in his head. All right. Let's go with number 5. A southerner is a person that is from the south of the United States. Okay. A southerner assassinated Kennedy. So again, subject, a southerner, the verb assassinated in past, and the object again is Mr. JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Let's see how the sentence is in passive voice. Well, you already know the object is Kennedy, so we'll start the sentence with Kennedy. Let's see. Exactly. Kennedy was assassinated by a southerner. All right. Let's go with number 6. Number 6 says, a southerner named Johnson succeeded Kennedy. All right. My answer will be, according to what we learned in the passive voice, let's click it here. Kennedy was succeeded by a southerner named Johnson. All right. That will be the complete answer and the correct answer. All right. Let's go with number 7. Okay, we got The gunman shot Kennedy in a car called Lincoln that the company Ford made. Here we got, and it was very nice to me, see that many of you answered correctly because we have two sentences that are in active voice to be changed into passive voice. The first one was, the gunman shot Kennedy in a car called a Lincoln. Yep. So that will be, Kennedy was shot by a gunman in a car called Lincoln. The second sentence says that it was referring to the car, a Lincoln, that the company Ford made. Okay, so then we change it into passive voice. A car called Lincoln that was made by the Ford company. All right? That was two sentences in one to be changed. Okay? Let's go with the next exercise. It says, Oswald ran from a warehouse and the police caught him in a theater. Many of you were trying to move Oswald, but in this case, if you notice, Oswald, which is the subject there, is followed by a verb, but there is not an object after the verb because from is a preposition. The sentence to be changed was, and the police caught him, because we got subject, the police, verb caught, and object him. Ergo, the sentence, the answer will be the following one. Let's check. Oswald ran from the warehouse and he was caught by the police in a theater. That will be. Okay, that was the answer. Number 9. It says, someone assassinated Oswald before his trial. So it was like the same sentence in number 4 or 5. I don't remember very well. So let's check. Oswald was assassinated by someone before his trial, because in this case, someone is the subject, assassinated, the verb, and Oswald turns into the object. Ergo, in the passive voice, Oswald is the object. Oswald was assassinated by someone before his trial. Let's go with the following one. Ah, okay, that was it. That was the end, yeah, I remember. Okay, so after this, we're going to start checking the exercises on the internet. Exercises, especially, we're going to check the evaluation, okay? We're going to check the evaluation to see how it works, because I noticed that many of you had confusion opening the link. So I'm going to help you to review how to open the link, the exercises that you were supposed to do. Based on the video you watch about the difference between active and passive voice, read the following paragraph and look for the sentences that can be changed in passive voice and rewrite the paragraph in passive voice, okay? It has a tip. I gave you a tip here. Look for the structure in active voice that has the object in the complement. So that has the following structure, formula. Has a subject, has a verb, has a complement. What the complement is an object. Okay? The sentence, the story in active voice says, last night my friend John called me and invited me to a new restaurant. He told me to be ready at 7 p.m., but he arrived at 9 p.m. On the way to the restaurant, we saw an accident. A bus ran over an old lady. Nobody called an ambulance, so we took the old lady to the hospital. Therefore, we arrived very late. They closed the restaurant at 10 p.m., and they picked up all the tables and chairs. We bought a pizza and went home to watch a movie. Okay? What I did here is to highlight the structures I was telling you about, where we can find a subject, a verb, and a complement. Okay? Subject, verb, complement. So if you notice, in all the sentences I highlighted, you find that structure. Those sentences that are highlighted are the ones who were possible to be changed. Okay? Starting with what? Last night, my friend John called me and invited me. There we have subject, verb, and object. So it will change like this. Last night, I was called and invited by my friend John to a new restaurant. We continue with, he told me. We can change that into active voice because we have, into passive voice, sorry, because we have their subject, verb, and object. It will be like what? I was told. I was told. Okay? I was told to be ready at 7 p.m., but he arrived at 9. On the way to the restaurant, it says, we saw an accident. Again, subject, we, saw, verb, an accident. Okay, so that means that we can change that into passive voice. All right? Where were we? Restaurant. It said what? An accident was seen by us. That's it. That will be the answer. Then we said, we saw an accident. A bus ran over an old lady. Subject, verb, and an object. Okay, so what? An old lady was run over by a bus. Okay? The following one was nobody called an ambulance. So, an ambulance was called by nobody. So it continue. Let's see. So we took the old lady to the hospital. Okay. So the old lady was taken by us to the hospital. Therefore, we arrived very late. They closed the restaurant. Okay. Therefore, we arrived very late. The restaurant was closed by them at 10 p.m. And they picked up all the tables and chairs. And all the tables and chairs were picked up by them. We bought a pizza and went home to watch a movie. So a pizza was bought by us and went home to watch a movie. Okay, that was exercise number 3. Okay, I hope that you understood. If you didn't understand very well, you remember that you can answer, you can send me questions, explanations again if it's necessary, all right? Okay, so now let's go with the evaluation, which was about this, all right? Let's see how the evaluation was. Okay, for the evaluation, it was a little instruction here, right? It says, evaluation. Complete the exercises on the link that is included here, but there was a little instruction here. In the option, I would like to answer 15 exercises, what it says in the original version, select the option all exercises. Many of you got confused with this. I know, sorry, my mistake, but I won't take that into account this time because, well, maybe my explanation was not very clear. So for next time, you have to follow the instructions. Okay, I'm gonna explain here. I'm gonna follow the instruction that you have to follow. Okay, it says you got to go here to open the link. We go to the link. Then you click it, and it takes us to the exercise. Okay, so the instruction what I was saying was this. It says, I would like to answer, it says 15 exercises, but no, what you have to do here is to select, according to the instruction, the option that says all exercises. Here. And start test. And then we had 30 questions. 30 questions to be solved. Okay? There were 30 questions. Here we got the first 10. Okay? There we had the other 10. And then we had the other 10. Okay? We're not going to fill up the exercise here. We're going to see the answers. Okay? We're going to check the answers. I'm going to give a brief explanation about the answers. Okay? So we're going to click on Show Answers. Show Answers. There we go. I'm gonna maximize it a little bit. The first exercise asks us to select if it was an active or a passive voice. It's very simple. I'm gonna explain you what. Number one, a letter was written. We have the structure that we learned about passive voice. We got object here, object, verb to be, and the verb in past participle. Simple. Because we are talking what happened to the object, not about the subject. Number two, Steven likes to play baseball. That's an active voice because we have a subject who does an action and a complement. Yes? Number three, passive voice, same. These cars, object, auxiliary to be, verb auxiliary to be, verb in past participle, and a complement in this case. Okay? These cars are produced in Italy. That is passive voice. We are talking about what happened to the object. French is spoken in Nigeria. Passive voice, because we're talking about French as an object. Okay? Object, to be, verb in past participle, and a complement. Lots of houses were destroyed. The same, passive voice, because we are talking about an object. What is the object here? Lots of houses. That's the object, okay? Bingo is played in Britain. Passive voice, the same, because we're talking about bingo and what happened to bingo. What happens in this case, because it's present, because we have here to be in present. Bingo is played in Britain is passive voice. The bus driver was hurt. Passive voice, the same, because we're talking about what happened, is the verb to be in past here. What happened to the bus driver? You say, hey, what happened to the bus driver? No, the bus driver was hurt. Okay? Okay, let's continue with verse 8. They often read emails. Active voice, because we're talking about a subject doing an action. What is the action here? What is the subject here first? They. What do? They read emails. They do an action. They do an action. They don't receive the action. They do the action. Here, number 9, active voice. They are listening to their music. We are talking about what they are doing, the action they are doing. They are listening to their music. Number 10, he lost his keys yesterday. Again, active voice, because we are talking about an action that he did. What did he do? He lost his keys. Okay? Okay, let's go with the next exercise. The exercise here says rewrite the sentences in active voice. Basically, it's the opposite from the exercise that you did previously in the reading, to change a sentence from active voice into passive. In this case, it's the opposite. It's to change a sentence that is in active voice, subject, verb, a sentence that is in passive voice, object to be, verb, into active voice, subject, verb, and the object. Number 1, let's see. Passive voice. The child was hit by a car. Okay? So we know that the one who did the action is this, a car. That means that he is, in this case, it is a subject. Okay? So a car, the verb, what is the verb here? Is the one that is always after to be. Okay? Is the one after to be. In this case is hit. So a car hit the child. Easy. And the other, well, I'm not going to take the time to do all this. You can check it here. I'm just going to read them. The club was founded by Ron and Peggy. That means that an action was done by Ron and Peggy. Yeah. What did Ron and Peggy do? Sorry. Ron and Peggy. Sorry, guys. I lost connection because, well, my cell phone is low battery right now. So that's why I couldn't take longer explaining the other exercises and the complete number of exercises he had. The following exercise, number 3, was the same that we did with the text about Abraham Lincoln and John Fitzgerald Kennedy. It was to rewrite the sentences from active voice into passive. So I think you already have it clear. With number 1, the teacher closes the window. So the question here is, what happens to the window? that the window is closed. Okay, is to follow the structure. If you check your notes, if you took notes from the previous video, the video where I explained, you will notice that this is the formula, the same formula. Okay, I'm gonna take number, let's say number 5. The girls can play handball. Okay, we have, look at that, we have auxiliary can plus the verb, but we have subject, the girls, verb with the auxiliary can play, and the object handball. Okay, so passive voice, object handball. Verb to be, remember that the auxiliary to be in the same form that is in the passive, in the active voice, that is with the auxiliary can. Ergo is handball can be, and the main verb that is played here can be played. Handball can be played. Okay, and so on with the other exercises. That was it. That was all the information that you had to send me, all the exercises, especially with this evaluation. Thank you guys for watching this video. Remember that if you have any question, just send it to me and I'll be glad to answer. The idea is to be in contact, to be in touch all the time. You know my email, so any question that you have, just let me know and I'll be glad to answer. Okay? Goodbye, guys. Have a nice recess week and a nice Holy Week. I think that we'll see each other in a couple of weeks. Okay? Remember to keep in touch with English. It's very important not to stop studying and to be in touch with English. Okay? Goodbye, guys. Goodbye.